Hello, everyone, and welcome to Why Podcast Guests Leave Money on the Table and How to Leverage Your Podcast Appearances into High Paying Corporate Deals. I am Shayna Davis, and I am so thrilled to be with you today to talk about one of my absolute favorite topics. I love teaching people how they can land big corporate deals, and I absolutely love podcasting. So I'm so excited to talk about, if you are a podcast guest, how you can actually use being a guest in order to tap into these high paid deals. So this is probably not something that is unusual for most of you, that you've guested on shows, you've delivered value, maybe you've even gained followers, but the real revenue, like that's where the crickets come in. And why is that? In my experience, it's because we have to remember that visibility does not always equal profitability. Everywhere we turn these days, there's visibility coaches, and everyone's talking about be visible, the importance of being visible. And I'm not here to say that being visible is not important, but I know firsthand how visibility can be great, and you know you're having influence, you know you're having impact, but then you check your bank account and it's not necessarily speaking the same language. And so that's why I do exactly what it is that I do. And here's what I know. Here's what I know about podcast guests is that most guests, they don't treat their appearances like a business asset. Like, yeah, you may take the clips, you may post it on your social media, you may share it with your email list, but you're not necessarily treating it like a business asset. They guest and then they hope for somebody to reach out and buy from them. And I'm not talking about your lead magnets, your online courses, or any of those other low value revenue streams. What I'm going to show you is how to take your current level of expertise and or the audience that you've already built to land high value corporate sponsors and corporate contracts. I want to say that again. The audience that you're already serving, the audience that you've already built, your current level of expertise, how you can take that and turn it into these big corporate deals. This is exactly what I help clients do every single day. I show them how they can use these type of deals and turn their visibility into serious income and strategic partnerships. But before I get into it, I want to define corporate because I use that term loosely. When many of us hear the word corporate, we're thinking of the large enterprise brands like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and yes, that is a corporation. But when I'm saying corporate, I also mean that mid-sized company that's down the street from your house that has 200 employees that probably also need your help. I'm also talking about colleges, some well-paid nonprofits. So I'm going to use the word corporate, but know that I'm not only talking about the big brands. But here's what we need to know about the opportunity before we get into it is that corporations spend trillions with a T, trillions of dollars every single year on goods and services and billions more on sponsorships. So what does that mean for you? For you, that means tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars based on your results that you're already getting for your customers or clients. So it's not a big shift from what it is that you're doing. You're not starting over. You're not creating something new. You're taking what it is that you're already doing. So perhaps that is using your current level of expertise for training or workshops or coaching, or having a corporation pay you to have access to the attendees at your online and offline events, which means that you don't have to pay so much out of pocket. So when I say a corporate contract, it's like, what is the service or the product that you're already offering, and how do you sell that service or product to these bigger buyers? When I'm talking about your sponsorships, it means that that corporation wants to be in front of the audience that you already serve, and they will pay you well to do that. So what I hope you see here, I just want to say it again because it's so important, is that what you're already doing can get you a deal. No pivoting or starting something from scratch. So now that you understand the opportunity, how do you make it happen? And so I'm going to share with you the first thing that you have to do to be deal ready. And then I'm going to share 3 ways that you can monetize your guest appearances for these types of deals. So the first and most important piece is your positioning. Most of the clients that I work with, they're great at what they do. They're getting excellent results for the clientele and the customers that they're already serving. They've built that over the last several years, but they need to reframe what it is that they do and how they talk about what it is that they're doing so that they can get the interest of a corporate buyer. Why is that? It's because what you do now and how you're currently talking about what it is that you do now is consumer facing, not necessarily corporate facing. And what you have to do is that you have to demonstrate how you solve a real business problem. And there are three business problems that corporations primarily care about: making money, saving money, and attracting and retaining top talent. So your job is to show how what you do solves those problems. So I'm going to give you an example. So for example, instead of saying I'm a mindset coach, which may work fabulously for the consumer audience that you're serving now, you should say things like, I help organizations increase leadership trust and retention through strategic mindset frameworks. Right? So talk about your framework, your process, or your strategic model that's proven to drive results, because now they're going to see you as a strategic partner and not just positioning yourself as a personality or a personal brand. So once you have done that first step of positioning yourself to make sure that the way you're talking about what you're doing demonstrates the real business problems that you serve and the real value and results that you can bring to these types of corporations, I want to share with you three ways that you can monetize your guest appearances. Number one is to turn every guest spot into a business app, into a business asset. So what you want to do is after every single episode airs, and you're probably already doing this in a different capacity anyway, is just pull 2 to 3 powerful quotes or takeaways from your interview and then turn them into branded content on LinkedIn. The reason why LinkedIn is important is because if your corporate buyers are on other social media platforms, it's for their personal life and not work. So take that branded content, whether it's a quote or the takeaways, and then use them as LinkedIn carousel posts or short clips that you can add to your speaker or media kit. And the reason why this works is that it positions you as a thought leader and it gives potential sponsors or corporate buyers social proof of your expertise in action. Right? So just like you're doing in other ways, you're just going to want to make sure that you're sharing this on LinkedIn so that the buyers at these bigger companies can actually see how great you are at what it is that you do. Number two, upgrade your guest bio to speak to decision makers. So when you think about your guest bio, rework it a little bit, and you can use AI to help you with this, but rewrite your podcast guest bio to include the business results that you create, not just your accolades or your origin story that you're used to sharing right now. So include a line like, her work has helped brands, and then you insert whatever result it is that you get. And she now partners with companies to create high value outcomes. Again, you're just showing them that you're not just a personal brand, you're not just a personality, but the work that you do and the results that you get can actually create high value outcomes for a company as well. And the reason why this works is that it reframes your presence from just an interesting guess to a strategic solution, and that is going to make you appeal more to corporate buyers. And then number three, create a corporate worthy authority page or PDF. So what you're going to do here is you're going to build just a simple one-page PDF or a landing page. I actually prefer PDFs when I am looking to attract and communicate with corporate buyers instead of just a landing page, because that's not how they're used to, finding vendors, bringing in experts. But on that, whether you want to do a landing page or you choose to do a one-page PDF, you're just going to include who you are, who your audience is, even if it's not massive, you just need to be able to show alignment, what topics you speak on, the business problems that you solve. Remember, tie how what it is that you do helps these businesses make money, save money, or attract and retain talent. Could be one or more of those. And then a direct invite for partnerships or corporate opportunities. And the reason why this works is because it gives potential sponsors or corporate contacts a clear professional way to evaluate you and take action. Have a link to this on your website. Have a link to this on your LinkedIn is always a great thing to do as well. So start with your positioning to get you deal ready, and then use the other tips that I just shared with you to get you in the room. Because what I need you to understand is that these deals are more possible than you think. And I always want you to remember that your influence was never meant to just be visible. It was meant to be bankable. Can't wait to see what you create.